For 13 years, Timothy Treadwell, Tim, spent his summers camping on the coast of Katmai, Alaska with wild grizzly bears. Once a drug addict, Tim later found solace in grizzly bears, animals he talked to, played with, and even touched. He also named each bear and considered them his friends. However, Tim could not have imagined that these bears he considered his friends would be the ones to end his life. On a stormy October evening, just before being picked up by the scheduled plane, Tim was eaten alive to death right in front of his girlfriend, Amy Huguenard, and not long after his 37-year-old girlfriend later also suffered the same pitiful fate. Pilot Willie Fulton immediately realized something was wrong when he landed in Katmai National Park. Instead of seeing Tim and Amy waiting for him, Willie only saw a cold silence and a scary grizzly bear sitting on the scattered human remains, and it was gnawing on human ribs. Tim and Amy's tent was found collapsed and torn, with snack packs scattered and shoes neatly stacked outside the tent. Outside the tent was a row of dense grass up to 1 meter high, mud, tree branches, and scattered pieces of bodies. Ranger Joe Ellis also saw a few fingers and arms exposed in this mess. Nearby, they found Tim's brutally bitten head and small piece of spine still attached to his head. Tim's right arm was also found, with the watch still on his hand. Amy at first glance seemed to be sleeping, but the truth was that most of her body had been eaten by the bear. But what they found most terrifying was the camera in the tent, the camera that recorded all the terrifying moments that Tim and Amy experienced. Tim records all of his bear interactions, and this attack was no exception. But in their panic, neither he nor Amy had time to remove the lens, resulting in 6 minutes of audio of the bloody attack being completely recorded. It begins with the sound of a frightened Amy asking if the bear is still out there before Tim screams, "Get out of here. It's killing you." The sound of the tent zipper rang, signaling that Amy had escaped and screamed for her boyfriend to pretend to be dead so the bear would let him go. Her screams seemed to have an effect. The bear let go of Tim, but as soon as Amy ran to the tent to help her boyfriend, it returned to the tent, opened its jaws, and grabbed Tim's head. Tim frantically screamed at Amy to hit the bear. She used the pan to hit it, and shouted at Tim to fight back against the bear. It is believed that at this point in the attack, the bear let go of Tim's head and grabbed his legs, dragging him away. Amy screamed in despair while Tim yelled at her to run. He must have known his fate at this point, and wanted Amy to escape in time before the bear came back. Tim had a painful death. He didn't die at all, but the bear tormented and ate him alive in front of Amy. Everyone shuddered when thinking back to Amy's situation at that time, seeing her boyfriend being dragged away by a bear, panicking and not knowing where to run in the storm in the middle of the night. Unlike the screaming scenes in the movie, the grizzly bear that attacked Amy and Tim was terrifyingly silent. It only growled throughout the tape. Throughout the tape are the sounds of the storm, the growl of the bear, and the hopeless moans and screams of Tim and Amy, and Amy's final anguished scream, signaling that the bear had returned to attack, ended the tape. After the bear was shot, investigators recovered 4 bags filled with pieces and human body parts from its stomach. This grizzly bear is 28 years old and weighs more than 400 kilograms. Because of its advanced age, the bear is said to be struggling to find food before hibernation arrives. This brutal attack was also the subject of Werner Herzog's documentary, The Grizzly Man, which shows how Amy was afraid of bears and thought her boyfriend was too reckless. She told Tim that the trip would be her last and that there was a new job waiting for her back in California. Many people believe that it was Tim's subjective and excessive closeness to the bears, ignoring warnings not to camp too close and for too long next to grizzly bears, that was a cause of his painful death. Your pain. October is also the time when grizzly bears are focusing on feeding before winter vacation, so their aggressiveness will increase even more. After Tim's death, park rangers made it clear that although this was a rare incident, it was a reminder to everyone that bears are deadly animals. As for the tape, Werner warns that it is so terrible, no one should listen to it. Many people believe that the original tape was hidden and locked. There is an audio clip circulating on YouTube, but until now people still doubt its authenticity.